Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of HAZRATH MAULANA QAMAR Sahib Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Monday morning at about 9:30 a.m. at Baitul Azkar in Wasiabad, Allahabad, UP, India. Monday, the 13th of Sha'ban 1444, corresponding with the English date 6th of March 2023. Hazrat Wala starts off this majlis by quoting the ayat of the Quran Majid, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْغَمِّ وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Thereafter, Hazrat Wala goes on to say that, or read from the kitab, where it states that जानना चाहिए कि हक सुब्हानहू व तआला ने इब्राहिम अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम के क़ल्ब को नूर रिज़ा से मुंबसित कर दिया था. That you should understand this well, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had opened up the heart of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, or put in it the nur of his pleasure. Allahu Akbar. So we learn from this here, in the heart of a believer there is a nur. You know, when I was in Makkah Mukarramah with Hazrat Abrar al-Haq Sahib, he went on to say, we were on the way to the Haram for the Dhuhr Salat, and he said that this dua that is read while we are en route Fajr Salat, can it be read at Zohar time? And I said to him, Maulana, most definitely it can be read. It is not only constricted and confined only to the Fajr Salat. Allahumma ja'al fi qalbi nura wa fi sam'i nura wa fi basari nura. That, oh Allah, put nur in my heart, in my ears, in my listening, in my tongue, in my body, in my blood, in my bones. Oh Allah, you make me an embodiment of nur. So the hadith says that regarding the nur of a person, that Allah Ta'ala blesses him with such nur, فَإِنَّهُ يَنْظُرُ بِنُورِ اللَّهِ. He looks and he sees with the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we will have to accept this and understand it, that a mu'min has a nur and he sees with the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now see these eyes, they have nur, I'm seeing, but however, without the nur from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I have light in my eyes so that I can see. But if I don't have the light and the nur from Allah's side, which is the nur of hidayat, I would not have that inspiration to read this kitab. Hazrat Wala thereafter quotes the malfuz of Allama ibn Qayyim. He says that nur chashm ke liye nur bulb ki zarurat hai. That even for your eyes to see, it's a dark place and a dark room, or it's at night, for you to really understand and see, you would need light, the light of the globe or the bulb. In a similar manner, इसी तरह नूर अक़ल के लिए नूर वही की ज़रूरत है. For the nur and understanding of your brain, for that to function correctly, you would actually need the nur of wahi. It is only then that you will be able to understand it completely and move on. It is for this reason that the Buzrugan-e-Deen also made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this very nur. Ilahi maqsood man tu hi wa rizaye tu muhabbat wa ma'rifat khud bidah. Oh Allah, my objective is you and only you. It is only you and your pleasure. Therefore, muhabbat wa ma'rifat khud bidah, bless me with your love and your recognition. You know, on one occasion, Hazrat Maulana Siddiq Bandwi asked Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib, for advice. And Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab then made talqeen, gave gentle instruction of this particular dua, that read and make this dua to Allah. Allahumma tahhir qalbi an ghayrika, that oh Allah, purify my heart from all others, from everything else other than you. وَنَوِّرْ قَلْبِي بِنُورِ مَعْرِفَتِكَ, and illuminate my heart with the illumination, with the nur of your recognition. When we go for Fajr in the morning, we read the dua, Allahumma ja'al fi qalbi nura wa fi sam'i nura. The dua goes on. So when a person goes from these villages and these small spaces and places, and then he goes to the big cities like Bombay, then he sees so much of light because it's the big city centers. And then what about London and go to Europe? But what can we say? That is maybe this type of light or an artificial type of light. However, the real light is the nur from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what is that? That is the description actually of Madina Munawwara. Al-Madinatul Munawwara. Al-Madina Al-Munawwara bi anwari Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That Madina Munawwara, this Medina which is so illuminated, it is illuminated with the nur of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Allah Ta'ala bless us all with this nur. When this nur comes, we would be able to then recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this nur. And from all this nur, the greatest nur is that nur-e-rida, which we just spoke about, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which He blessed Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam with. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened the heart of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam and poured into it the nur of His pleasure. He blessed him with the essence of submission, and He protected his heart from looking towards makhluk. Therefore, the fire then, that fire, that nur, that light, which was ignited by wood and coal or whatever it was then reduced to coolness and peace. Bardan wa salaman. Why? This was because of the kayfiyat of the heart of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. That he handed his heart, he handed himself over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whoever has and adopts total and complete submission, then he will be blessed with total and complete peace. So when a person rectifies his batin, his interior, then what will happen? What will he be given in the exterior? He will be given izzat, and he will be given karamat, nobility, honor, dignity from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now in this dunya, we going and we coming and we doing this and we doing that. But how many of us even know this here? Now we just read the text and look at how beautiful the translation is as well. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ne Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam ke qalb ko nur-e-riza se mumbasit kar diya. Mumbasit, opened it up, spread it out. The heart of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, Hazrat Wala says that it reminds me of the incident of Ibn Arabi rahimahullah, when he comes to kiss the Hajar al-Aswad. And when he kisses the Hajar al-Aswad, and he's there standing in front of Hajar al-Aswad, the Hajar al-Aswad spreads itself out, mumbasit. It completely spreads itself out, that it went into hundreds of meters, into miles. Right? And at that time, Ibn Arabi says the shahadat, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. And what was it? That Hajarul Aswad says that I have collected, I have taken this year and I have kept it and I've put it securely into me, and I will take it out of me and present it in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tomorrow. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, when he used to quote this incident, तो अजीब कैफियत तारी हो जाती थी. A great type of spiritual state used to overwhelm him when he used to speak about this. This is a fantastic kitab I have in front of me. Hazrat Wala is saying it is the kitab of Ibn Ataullah Iskandari rahimahullah. Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn Ataullah Iskandari rahimahullah. When Hazrat Haji Imdadullah went to Makkah Mukarramah, and he was there, he was based there. Hazrat Tanwi went to Makkah Mukarramah actually to spend time in the sohbat and khidmat of his peer and his mentor. And at that time, Hazrat Haji Imdadullah says to Hazrat Tanwi, Ashraf Ali, translate this kitab. It will be of great benefit to the people. And a great adib from Darul Uloom Deoband, he even remarked, nobody could have carried out a translation of this caliber and this quality, of this level, which Hazrat Tanwi had then carried out. Now, I went, where was it? It was that Kashwar, that I went there and I even read this kitab there. And we go for ikhtitam, and we even do ijra of the kitabs. We start the kitab for the next year as well. So at that time, it was a gathering of thousands of people. And then I introduced this type of kitab to them. I said, I'm making ijra of this kitab. And I started dars of this kitab, Taqdeer Wali, of three great personalities, Ibn Ataullah Iskandari, Al-Haji Imdadullah rahimahullah, and Hazrat Tanwi rahimahullah. Maulana Muhammad gave me this kitab, and I said that I'm going to do this translation of it. And then I came to understand, when I looked at the translation that Hazrat Tanwi carried out when Maulana Muhammad gave me this kitab, the Arabic of it, I found it in Makkah Mukarramah at about 2 a.m. in the morning in one of the bookstores there. So here, Allah Ta'ala protected the heart of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam from turning to mankind. Just like how Hazrat Mujaddid Al-Fethani, what ta'aleem did he give us? He used to say that जैसे तुम इनाम को और इकराम को अच्छा समझते हो, just like how you understand, you treasure, and you are so happy about rewards and having ikram and treasures from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Similarly, Allah ta'ala की तरफ से अगर इलाम आ जाए तो उसको भी कबूल करो. And if by chance or some type of difficulty and pain has to come from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, accept that as well. This is tariq. This is the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to make kalam on barda wa salaman, that Allah ta'ala did not only say bardan, because a person can also be reduced, and a person can also be put through difficulty by severe cold. And that's what happened when I went to Tanabon. For a while I wasn't too well because of the same thing as well. It got too cold, and then I was uneasy. But here Allah Ta'ala is saying, wasalaman, such, it's cold, cool, but with peace, with afiyat. So we are reading about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He blessed Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam in all of this year. When I read this year, my heart desires that Allah must also give me this. I haven't achieved it till today. Allah must give me this. Dua kijiye. You people also make dua for this year. Make dua for this year. Sakh khush masti wale Abul Hasan. Oh, Abul Hasan, how is it that you seem to be so happy? What are you actually happy about? Are you happy about this or that or the other? You haven't actually seen the true nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are looking at this or that or the other and you being deceived. You haven't reached your destination as yet. So when a person hands himself over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his test, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turns the thorns into roses and fear into peace. Therefore, if shaitan has to throw you into the catapult of trial and tribulation and examination, and then the entire world comes to you saying, Alaka haja, do you have any need? Listen, are you okay? You need something. Faqul, then say at that time, Amma ilayki fala wa amma ilallahi fabala. Listen, a need from you people? No, not at all. However, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, most definitely. And then, if they have to then say that, then ask Allah. If you're saying you have a need with Allah, ask Allah. Then at that time, say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His knowledge suffices me from even asking Him. He knows about my condition. Why? And at that time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will then drive away the fire of this world and exchange it with that of coolness and peace. And Allah ta'ala will bless you with treasures and with honor and nobility. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had opened for the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam the paths of Hidayat. And thus the mu'mineen treaded those paths after them. And the followers of the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam, those who had true yaqeen, stuck to this path, just like how Allah Ta'ala puts it so beautifully in the Quran. قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ. Say, this is my path, I call towards Allah. عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ, with foresight, I am upon that, and whoever follows me. Now Allah Ta'ala says regarding Yunus alayhi salatu wassalam that first, so here at that time we would say that Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam was challenged. Thereafter Hazrat Wala quotes some couplets. The meaning of it, the crux of it is this here, that in the form or in this spiritual state of Naz, where the person comes into the Josh and then he says to Allah that Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam is saying that Allah, it is all because of this crime of love that I have for you that I'm put through this type of test. Oh Allah, therefore you also come and see what type of things are carried out upon the person who has submitted himself to you. So Allah Ta'ala says in the shan of Yunus alayhi salatu wassalam, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ, we accepted for him and we saved him from grief. And similarly, وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, we would save those who are the mu'mineen, we would save them as well. Those who follow in the path or in the footsteps of Yunus alayhi salatu wassalam, those who have shauq for the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who are seeking and who are thirsty for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who express their humility and helplessness in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All these categories of people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will also make madad. Allah ta'ala will also save them and bless them just as He blessed Yunus alayhi salatu wassalam. Now you know this kalima, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahib used to make talqeen and instruct us to read this kalima. Rather, those who would make khidmat at night, who would stay there to serve Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahib, he would tell them, come, sit up now, and start reading 300 times La ilaha illa anta subhanak. And Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, towards the end, he also started making talqeen of this kalima to us. Allah Ta'ala bless us with full trust and this great quality of taslim and handing ourselves over to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So this year, this talk and this discussion that we just had with you will be of great benefit to the seekers, those who seek great lessons, and it will be a great source of hidayat for those who actually are searching to see and to learn this path to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And it will be for who? For that person who comes out of the planning of his nafs. Then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will start then planning in his favor. Do you not see that Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, when he abandoned all that type of measures and planning for himself, and he did not worry about it in any way, then at that time he threw himself in front of Allah, he handed himself over to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and put all his trust in Allah. Now when we see that this year, handing himself over to Allah, the end result of it was nothing other than salamat, peace, ikram, and such type of praise for him, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, despite the passage of time. And Allah Ta'ala then commands us that we should not come out of this creed of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, and that we should take due consideration that what is this year that we have been called by, where Allah Ta'ala says that millata abikum Ibrahim, that adopt this creed of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, huwa sammakumul muslimin, apne baap Ibrahim कि उन्होंने ही तुम्हारा नाम मुसलमान रखा है पहले से. It was your father Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam that had kept your name from before. Therefore, it is a right over every person who says that he is in this creed and millat of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, that he abandons this type of doing this and doing that, and he comes out from this type of a debate with Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, this munaza'at, this fighting, pull and push. He comes out and he clears himself from that completely. Meaning, what is he actually going to do then? He is handing himself over to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Now Allah Ta'ala bless us with these salient features. Now we learn also that Ibrahim Ali radiallahu ta'ala on one occasion entered the Jama Masjid of Basra, and then he seen so many people giving waz in the different corners of the grand Jama Masjid of Basra. And then he said to them, who gave you people permission to give waz and nasihat? So we understand this year that even for an ordinary simple zahiri waz, you actually need ijazat for that. And then he said, I'll take your exam. If you don't make it, I'm going to actually ask you to move from here, meaning you're not fit to give waz and bayan. And listen, if you pass, and then I will allow you then to carry on with your majlis and your talks here. He comes across them and he even questions the great luminary Hazrat Hasan al-Basri, and he said that what is the foundation of all good? Ma milakuddin. And he goes on to say it is al-wara, it is piety. And he goes on to say what is the destruction of this matter and the deen? And Hassan al-Basri goes on to say to him, it is tama, it is having hopes in all other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your hopes are with people. It was at this time that Hassan al-Basri gained the full confidence of Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala, and he was blessed with the mantle of Khilafat. Now we are in the same silsila. Should not we honor and appreciate this year from the elders of our silsila? Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to say that people were there in the Tanabawan Khanka with Hazrat Tanvi. Somebody had his nazar on this part, on that part, on this aspect, on that aspect. But myself, I had my complete gaze, focus and attention on the heart of Hazrat Tanvi rahimahullah. And my dua and my cry to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was that, Ya Allah, mujhe wo daulat de de जो आपके सीने मुबारक में है. Oh Allah, bless me with that great treasure which is in the heart, in the bosom of Hazrat Tanvi rahimahullah. Allahumma inni as'aluka qalban salima. Oh Allah, I ask you for a sound heart which on the day of Qiyamah will be of great worth. يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم. On that day when riches, treasures and wealth, nor wealth, neither children will benefit a person in any way except for the person who comes into the court of Allah with a sound heart. Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom used to say, I can't understand how that person is even living who doesn't have the love of Allah in his heart. Who was this great personality? The illustrious son of Hazrat Mujaddid al-Faithani. About 900 disciples, 7,000 alone were his khalifas. We should make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. Allahumma inni as'aluka hubbak. Oh Allah, I ask you for your love. Wa hubba man yuhibbuka, and the love of the one who loves you. Wa hubba amali yuqarribu ila hubbik, and the love of that amal, that deed, which will grant me proximity to you. This here is a wonderful kitab, and it is a collection of the ta'aleem of these three great Buzurgan-e-Deen, Ibn Ataullah Iskandari, Haji Imdadullah, and Hazrat Tanvi rahimahullah. وَقُلْ رَبِّ زِدْنِي عِلْمًا. When Hazrat Mufti Mahmud Sahab came to Allahabad, he spoke on this. He quoted this ayat and he spoke about ilm, knowledge. Nevertheless, Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahab asked us afterwards what was spoken about and what was discussed. And after that, Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahab then spoke on the topic of ilm and knowledge. Allahu Akbar. How he spoke and how he elaborated, and he spoke about this knowledge. Allahumma inna nas'aluka rizqan tayyiba wa ilman nafi'a wa amalan mutaqabbala. Oh Allah, we ask you for pure sustenance, a beneficial knowledge and accepted deeds. Musa alayhi salatu wassalam, after he watered the animals of Shu'aib alayhi salatu wassalam, when the two daughters were there struggling amongst so many shepherds, and after he done this, he asked them for nothing. He asked no one else for anything else. Rather, he turned his attention to Allah. ثُمَّ تَوَلَّى إِلَى الظِّلِّ. And then he went and he seated himself in the shade. Hazrat Tanvi has even remarked on that there, that a person should not unnecessarily put himself through difficulties in the name of striving and mujahada. And at that time, what did he ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for? It was, he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a piece of bread. And that's exactly what it is. So many went astray when they did not have that piece of bread and they were in poverty. When they did not have that little water to drink and they were in utter thirst. Allah give us affinity with this type of ulum and knowledge. Allah Ta'ala give us affinity, munasabat with suluk and tasawwuf, and Allah let us benefit tremendously. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.